Hi, my name is Jordan Ferguson, and today I'm going to be talking about global warming. Now, global warming has been kind of a controversial topic in the past, 14 years since Al Gore really brought light to it and made it a huge deal. Now, global warming, it's a natural process. I like to refer to it as global climate change because I'm a meteorologist and that's really the technical term. Um, it's a natural process. It happens, it's a 20,000 year or so, give or take a few thousand years, warming cycle to about an 80 to 100,000 cold cycle that the Earth goes through. And right now we're in the warming cycle. Now, it is real, but the thing is that there is a human-induced factor that was never there before. It is important that we reduce the human-induced factor, but it's not like a humongous deal because this is a natural occurrence. We just are kind of accelerating it more than ever recorded before, which I'm not sure how they recorded it before because there wasn't meteorological measurements and such back even 1,000 years ago. They weren't checking, oh, is the Earth warming up? Are we in trouble? But now, since we have all this technology, we've been noticing that greenhouse gases have been the largest human-induced factor in the last 50 years for global warming, and it's made global warming accelerate at a faster and faster rate. And that's according to the scholarly article writer Richard Kerr. Now today I'm going to be trying to persuade you on how we can fix the human-induced factor. So my first solution is to convert cars and trucks engines to half electric, half gas. Now, a lot of people, they really do enjoy their muscle cars and burning through gas and just going really fast. But that just releases a lot of fossil fuel toxins out into the environment, which really accelerates global warming. So it's not practical for the environment. Through these cars and trucks releasing so much fossil fuel exhaust, it's created a hole in the ozone layer, and ozone is actually found in our stratosphere, and ozone is important to us because it blocks UV rays from the sun that can be harmful to humans, and that's actually why there's been such a spike in skin cancer, because there's been so much UV coming through. And it turns out that the ozone hole is actually over Antarctica, but since the sun hits the Earth at different angles, it gets through the ozone hole and gets to the entire Earth. So it's gotten a lot worse in that respect. So by cars and trucks switching to 50% electric and 50% gas, there will be less carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide released into the atmosphere, so the ozone hole will start to deplete. And actually, it already has, because we have started doing that a little bit. So if we make bigger strides, I think that the ozone hole can be fixed, so there won't be any ozone hole anymore. Another way that we can cut down on global climate change, the human-induced factor that is by recycling better. A lot of people in the Earth still, they just don't recycle. They don't care. Well, who cares about the environment? Well, everybody should care about the environment because we all live on this Earth, and what happens to this Earth affects us all. By recycling, we can get rid of, well, we can't get rid of plastic. We reuse plastic instead of putting it in landfills where it decomposes in about 1,000 years. Or if we burn plastic, it releases harmful gases into the environment, and it just gets trapped, and it brings the temperature of the Earth up and up. A second solution, well, this is actually the third solution because recycling is the second. The third solution that I propose is to put stricter guidelines on corporations. Now, corporations, it's kind of hard because they don't want to change. It needs to happen though. They put so much pollution in the air. They even pollute the water. I live in Wisconsin on Lake Michigan, and every 6 months there's this big pipe that goes into Lake Michigan from all the corporations, and it just pumps pollution in there, and it kills fish. It just affects everything. It affects every ecosystem. So if we put tighter guidelines on how they deal with their waste, we can prevent global warming and burning fossil fuels and putting their exhaust up in the air. So according to Workers' World, 63% of energy that corporations use is from coal and oil. Now, if we can even reduce that by 25%, it can really make a difference in the atmosphere, because that's 25% less coal and oil being burned and those fumes going up into the atmosphere, warming up the atmosphere due to the greenhouse effect. So stricter guidelines could definitely be a big solution. And my last and final solution is alternative energy. Now, alternative energy is very open-ended. I think this is the best way to stop the human-induced factor of global warming, or at least slow it down. There's so many different types of alternative energy. We've really started to invest in wind power and solar power, but I think that we should start involving wave power into our talks, because it's fairly new and not really talked about much at all. And basically, it's these big power plants that have waves hit these like boards on the shore, underneath the shore, that is, if they have like a big bluff line on, like, say, the West Coast in California. If there's a big bluff, they'll have these panels sitting on the bluff, and the waves bump into them and transfer their energy into these like plates, and it creates power. Now, if we invest more money into figuring out wave power and really utilizing it, that can cut down on coal and oil use, and it can really just do the world really good. Now, wind power, this is very widespread across the U.S. It's become pretty much the face of alternative energy as of now. And every time you see a windmill out in a farm field, you know that it's producing energy, and sometimes just one of those can produce at least 20 homes power. So it's really a worthwhile solution, and it cuts down on energy bills, actually. And then solar power, we have solar panels all over the place. It powers things such as the Oklahoma Mesonet, which is a weather data, they're weather data sites. There's about 100 of them across the state, so that's how they get power. So global warming is real. The human effect is real. We need to change it, and the solutions that I said before is how I think we should change it.